The treasure in jars of clay. Words of Saint Paul. The treasure in earthen vase, in jars of clay. We are all men and women of clay, liable to sin, liable to all kinds of weaknesses, but carrying a treasure of infinite value. Now look at the gospel. We have to look at ourselves in the light of the gospel of Jesus. How radical is the message of Jesus? Radical. You know that word radical, Latin word, radix, means root. Check your roots. Check your roots. Remember the words Saint John the Baptist in his preaching in the desert? The axe has been laid to the root, aiming at the root. Your thoughts, your mind, your attitudes, where do they come from? Do you check your thoughts, your attitudes? Do you screen them and say, oh, this one doesn't go with the gospel of Jesus. This one is not Christian. This one is evil, satanic, destructive. That one is noble, edifying, building up, encouraging. Do you have this kind of self-examination? Do you have this kind of self-examination? See, the Lord is looking at married life, any vocation. Look at your life. Look at your life. We have to put this together, the words of Saint Paul, about that we are all men and women of clay, earthen vase. Or again, the words of Saint Paul in the book to the Romans. There is sin within me. Call it the original sin or whatever. There is sin within me, my fundamental human weaknesses. And Paul says very clearly, you are never going to overcome with willpower and determination. Think about the thoughts sometimes you get. You have no control. Isn't it true? You have no real control. Even during the Mass, the kind of thoughts may come to your mind. Where do they come from? Not that you invite them, they come. Clay. Human fundamental weaknesses. Paul says, you need the grace of God to overcome them. It means you and me relying on the Lord all the time. There's a battle going on between my body and my mind. Who wins the battle depends on where my leanings are. Like John at the Last Supper, leaning on the Lord. That's just a kind of spiritual attitude, leaning on the Lord. If I lean this way, it is into the pit. The other way, into the hands of God. Who do you lean on? Willpower, determination, your knowledge, wonderful knowledge, your degrees, none of them will help in spiritual life. Only if you and me have a deep friendship, intimate friendship with God, you will lean in the right direction all the time. Again, the summary of the whole Bible, Micah 6:8, walk humbly with your God. It means, always remember, the treasure is in jars of clay. You have all the possible weaknesses. If you are standing, if you think you are standing, be careful, you may fall any moment. But if you're leaning in the right direction, leaning on the heart of God, the goodness of God, the grace of God, the power of God, you will never fall.